Welcome. Please take your seats. Welcome to the 2026 commencement exercises. This undergraduate ceremony will begin shortly. Please take a moment to identify all emergency exits for this facility. The nearest exit may not be the doors in which you entered. A diagram is provided in the printed program distributed at the entrance. Exit doors around the arena are clearly marked. In the event of an emergency that requires evacuation, please follow any staff instructions and proceed calmly to the nearest exit and move away from the building. You should have a family plan that includes a place to meet should you become separated. A cooling station is located on the second floor near the top of the back steps should you or a member of your party need it. Ushers, volunteer staff, and EMTs are available throughout the arena to direct you to that room or alert appropriate personnel should you or a member of your party feel unwell for any reason during the ceremony. And please take your seats. Thank you. My name is Jennifer Cleary, and I serve as a faculty member in the Theater Arts Department here at Brandeis University, and I have the honor to serve as today's announcer for this undergraduate commencement ceremony. Expanded program information, including graduates' names and prizes, is available online. A link and QR code are inside your printed program and can be visited directly at brandeis.edu/commencement/program. Please welcome the Grand Marshal for the ceremony, the Professor John Burt. I have the privilege to present the degree candidates of the class of 2026. Graduates, please be seated. Please welcome the class of 1976 who are celebrating their 50th reunion. Please welcome the President's Counselors and Fellows of Brandeis University. Please welcome representatives from the Board of Trustees. Please welcome the honored guests, speakers, and the President's Party. These commencement exercises will be in order. Please rise as you are able for the invocation by Rabbi Seth Winberg, Brandeis' Senior Chaplain and Executive Director of Brandeis Hillel, and remain standing to join graduating senior Madison Buchanan, in singing the national anthem. Lyrics to the anthem are available online.
Graduates of 2026, before we begin, if you're blessed to have parents, grandparents, or loved ones here today, please take a moment to turn around and give them a wave and express your thanks. Now consider who else deserves that wave. The book of Genesis describes a man named Yuval as the father of all who play the harp. Avi kol tofes kinor ve'ugav, not because he fathered every musician who ever lived, that would be quite strange, but because according to ancient rabbinic interpretation, he brought music into the world. Jewish tradition takes that image seriously. Elsewhere, the Torah says, "Teach these words to your children," and the rabbis interpreted children to mean students. Jewish tradition is remarkably consistent on this idea. Whoever opens a world to you that was closed before stands in relation to you as a parent figure, which means that graduation is not only a moment to thank your family, it's a moment to recognize everyone who brought you to this day, including faculty and advisors and mentors who are here with you today. It means something else, too. You've spent 4 years acquiring knowledge, skills, and ways of seeing the world you did not have before. You leave here today as someone who we hope will spend the rest of your life opening worlds for others as teachers, colleagues, friends, citizens, and within the families you yourselves will build. That's what an education is for. You did not get here alone, and you will not go forward alone either. What you carry with you is not just the diploma, it's the accumulated care and effort of everyone who has helped shape you, and the responsibility you now have to do the same for others. On behalf of the extended Brandeis family, Mazel Tov, congratulations to the class of 2026.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we'd watch were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Please be seated. Earlier this semester, the university celebrated members of the faculty who joined the ranks of Brandeis's retiring and faculty emeriti. We also extend our deepest gratitude to MTS Director Tim O'Neill, who is retiring after 20 years of dedicated service. And whose leadership has been pivotal to the planning and execution of our commencement ceremonies. Additionally, members of the faculty and several staff members were awarded for their excellence in teaching, mentoring, and service. Will the esteemed faculty and staff award recipients please rise as you are able to be recognized? Lisa Krantz, Brandeis Class of 1975, Chair of the Board of Trustees, will offer greetings.
Good morning, everyone. You know what? I think we can do a little better than that. This is a celebration. Good morning, everyone. Now we're talking. Okay. My name is Lisa Krantz. I am a proud member of Brandeis's class of 1975. I also have the honor of being chair of the board of Brandeis's Board of Trustees. On behalf of our board, I am delighted to welcome you all to Brandeis University's 75th commencement ceremony, celebrating the incredible class of 2026 sitting right here in front of me. To the students, you made it. You did it. As of this afternoon, you will have completed your undergraduate education. To your wonderful parents and families, you can exhale. Bask in the glory of your students' accomplishments, and yes, celebrate this milestone in your journey as well. Congratulations to all. I don't need to tell you this, but the class of 2026 started at Brandeis just as we were all coming out of the pandemic. You experienced your last years of high school behind masks and 6 feet apart from one another. But during your time at Brandeis, you spent countless hours together with one another in the library, in the classroom, in the residence hall, and standing in line waiting for your coffee at Einstein's. You've forged friendships that will last a lifetime. You've discovered new passions, learned new skills, and hopefully found a personal mission to pursue for the rest of your life. A special time indeed. Something else special about today is that this is the 75th commencement of Brandeis University. Nobody was sure that your predecessors, the first graduating class, the class of 1952, would even get to graduation. In those early years, Brandeis was an experiment, a university founded by the Jewish community's proud gift to America's higher education landscape. A university rooted in the values that we all carry with us every day. Those are a commitment to excellence, a place that would be open to all people of all backgrounds, and an institution dedicated to research, learning, and pursuing truth. And as our logo says, even unto its innermost parts. As you all surely know, an experiment is just that. It has no guarantee of working out the way you want it to. But the Great Brandeis Experiment, much like your years here, has proven to be successful. And to reinforce that, I want to congratulate my brother's class, the class of 1976, that is here celebrating its 50th reunion. But back to 75 years ago. On that warm June graduation day, First Lady, UN Ambassador, Brandeis teacher, and Brandeis honorary degree recipient, Eleanor Roosevelt, one of several people's heroes, including mine, told graduates, and I quote, "One of the things that made this country great was that we were ready to adventure, to try new things of the mind and the spirit. You came into a world that is not an easy world to live in." Sound familiar? "You will find many things that are not what you hoped they would be. It does no good to try to place the blame or to feel badly about this unless you are determined that you are yourselves going to do better than what has been done before. Have the courage to be free. Believe me, it takes courage. It is often easier to accept the offer of security than to adventure. People who achieve things are rarely secure. Adventure is always much more interesting." Close quote. Mrs. Roosevelt's words couldn't be truer today. You are all about to take one of the next big steps in your lives, whether that is starting a career, pursuing graduate school, or something else. Don't be afraid of the adventure. Take risks, make big bets, try new things. Today's world is a tough place. We all know that. A lot is changing. There are many challenges to overcome at home and abroad. Please have the courage to pick the adventure, to decide to throw caution to the wind, and to do the thing that's risky, but will make our world a better place. Eleanor Roosevelt's closing advice to the first graduates of Brandeis is the same as mine is to you. And I'll quote Mrs. Roosevelt again. You say you will not set the world on fire. Perhaps not. But how does any one of you know that it may not be exactly he who does set at least your corner of the world on fire? For nobody knows who it may turn out to be who affects the change that really counts. So, class of 2026, please go forth. I wish you to be the change that counts. Be it with your family, in your community, in your state, in your country, or in the world. And by all means, it starts with the sincere congratulations from the board to the class of 2026.
The president of Brandeis University, Arthur E. Levine, will now offer remarks.
Good morning, everybody. Very good. Congratulations to the class of 2026. How about we give them a huge round of applause? Now, this is something that most of the people in the audience do not know. I have been assured that this is the most outstanding class in the entire history of Brandeis University. Even eclipsing the incredible standards set by the class of 1976. I want to recognize a couple of people. But before I do that, let me ask the graduates, join me in applauding the people who made this day possible, your family, your friends, professors, staff. I want to recognize Karen and David Sachs. Karen's a trustee and a member of the class of 1983. They're both on campus this weekend because we wanted to celebrate a gift they've given to the college, the largest by any alum, which is targeted at enhancing student life. I can't think of a better cause, and I'm very grateful for your gift. Thank you. Now, we're fortunate in having the granddaughter of Justice Brandeis joining us today, Louisa Brandeis Popkin. Thank you for coming. Commencements are bittersweet occasions. For graduates and their families, they're times of joy, celebrations of joint accomplishments. They're also times of contemplation. Hard decisions have to be made about the future. There are also times of doubt. Friends go off in different directions. And for some, an unknown future awaits. But for presidents like me, commencements are often times in which too much is said about too little for too long. I plan to be merciful today. Two, 3 hours, and I'm out of here. The second hour is really good. I'm only going to speak for a few minutes, but I promise, it'll seem much longer. Okay. Today, I want to talk to you. I want to talk to the graduates. I want to talk about your hopes. I want to talk about your fears, your promise. I want to talk about what happens tomorrow morning. You, we, all of us, are living through a period of profound, accelerating, unceasing, and unprecedented change as this country and many others around the world move from a national, analog, industrial economy to global digital knowledge economies. We are experiencing a kaleidoscopic array of changes, and your generation is living simultaneously in two worlds. One that's fading away, the world in which most of your parents, your professors grew up, and another that's being born, the world in which you're going to live your lives. Our hopes and dreams are with you. We desperately need you to repair the world, to build a new world, and to make it better than the world is today. This morning we've come together not only to applaud your achievements, but to celebrate that you now have the skills, the knowledge, the values to make this change a reality. And you know what? I'm really glad to see the future in your hands. Today I want to wish you three blessings. The first blessing is hope. And I'm not talking about Pollyanna-ish hope. I'm not talking about blind hope. But the hope necessary to live every day of your life and to hold on to your dreams. A lot of my research has dealt with college students. So I interview lots of college students. And one day I met a young woman on a campus I was visiting, and I asked her, "What are you majoring in?" She said, "Business." And I said, "How do you like it?" And she said, "I hate it." And I said, "What would you rather major in?" And she said, "Dance." "Why don't you major in dance then?" I said. So she looked at me the way you'd look at your young, dumb brother and said, "Money is nice, poor is not nice, I want nice." We learned two things from this story. First, she didn't attend Brandeis, or she would have had 37 majors and 15 minors. And she would have liked her business program. Second, and much more importantly, she didn't need to give up her dreams. Maybe she wouldn't have been a professional dancer, but she could have managed a dance troupe. She could have taught dance. She could have been a dance critic. She could have sold dance equipment. Your dreams are too precious to give away for a bag of beans. My second blessing is responsibility. You're the most fortunate people in the world. And with good fortune comes responsibility. You owe something to others. Let me tell you a story. So I'm sitting on a plane, and the person next to me is a college student, and I asked her about her plans. They were very modest. She wanted to be a U.S. Senator, CEO of a Fortune 500 company, and work on nuclear arms control. I was pretty impressed, so I asked, "What do you need to accomplish all of this?" And she said, "A killer instinct." Now, that wasn't the answer I was necessarily expecting. So I did what academics do whenever we're in trouble, and I said, "Could you please define that?" And she said, "You know, the ability to step on people, walk over them to get what I want." And I said, now I got it. I asked her about altruism. I then defined that for her. I said, "What about nuclear arms control?" She said altruism wasn't part of her plan. She said, "You don't get it, do you? If there's nuclear war, I don't get to be CEO of a multinational corporation, do I?" You know something? She may achieve every one of her wishes, but I can't think of a student whose higher education failed more greatly. I wish you the ability to look in the mirror every day for the rest of your lives and be proud of what you see. My third wish is efficacy, a belief you can make a difference. One more story. So I'm visiting this college, and they have this class for their top students who they're grooming for graduate fellowships, the top graduate fellowships. And they invite me to talk to the group about leadership. So a few minutes into my talk, I notice people are counting the light bulbs. They're looking at their iPods, iPads, anything they could find. And I looked at the group and said, I didn't think things were going that well. And they acknowledged as how that was true. And we traded hypotheses about what was wrong. Then one of the people in the room stood up and said, leadership is, let me clean this up a little. He said, leadership is bunk. We couldn't make a difference if we wanted to. I saw this as a teachable moment. I really wanted to humiliate him. So I asked the group, how many of you agreed with him? And all but 2 or 3 hands went up. But you know what? The fact of the matter is, every one of you is going to make a difference. Not everyone's going to get to become president of their country, which is good for you and good for us. But each of you is going to touch dozens and dozens of lives in far more fundamental ways. Family, friends, neighbors, coworkers, for ill or for good. Tomorrow is going to require people committed to keeping the American dream alive and extending it to all our children. You can make a difference. If you decide to become a doctor or enter a health-related field, don't do it for the prestige. Tomorrow is going to require health professionals who want to help heal a pained nation and a troubled world. You can make a difference. If you want to go into business, don't do it for the money. Tomorrow is going to require leaders and followers who care deeply about our shared agenda together. You can make a difference. I don't care if you want to be the butcher, the baker, or the candlestick maker. You can make a difference. Making a difference is your birthright. No one can take that away from you. Don't give it away. Tomorrow morning is going to require hope, responsibility, and a sense of efficacy. I beg of you, please, please be the people who make that commitment, because no one else can. Congratulations to all of you.
The chair of the Board of Trustees will present the candidates for honorary degrees to the provost and the president of the university.
Where is it? No?
Here, you can just read it here.
All right. President Levine and Provost Firky, by the enactment of Chapter 123 of the Acts of 1951, the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, authorize Brandeis University to confer honorary degrees. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, I have the privilege to instruct you to confer the following honorary degrees upon these persons for their singular achievements.
Meyer Koplow, accompanied by Professor Lisa Lynch.
Thank you. Meyer Koplow, you have been lauded as a leader with a soft touch and a sharp mind, and a warm spot in your heart for your alma mater. Years later, these words ring truer than ever. Your deftness and knowledge as an attorney and negotiator have resulted in headline-grabbing settlements, including a $250 billion resolution after 46 U.S. states and 6 other U.S. jurisdictions brought suit against the large tobacco companies. Beyond your legal achievements, your interest in helping others has inspired you to serve on the boards of a variety of religious, arts, and charitable organizations. For your strategic oversight, your ability to cultivate agreement and end complex disputes, and your long, generous commitment to healing the world, Brandeis University is proud to bestow upon you its highest honor, Doctor of Laws, honoris causa. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Jeanette A. McCarthy, accompanied by Professor Sally Warner.
Great. Thank you. Thank you. A native daughter of Waltham, Massachusetts, you have helped your city through 4 decades of change, including 22 years as its first woman mayor. Waltham residents have benefited greatly from your deep understanding of the city and unremitted work ethic. You have accomplished projects large and small, from improving traffic flow to negotiating ambulance contracts to creating new parks, with a leadership style you describe as tough but fair. Under your leadership, the quality of Waltham's public education has risen, thanks to improved school curricula and a new state-of-the-art high school, and the city has made the list of the 30 safest college towns in America. You recognize the benefits and the challenges that a growing population brings, insisting on a balance between development and the preservation of open space to keep Waltham a big city in a small town, in your words, vibrant and livable. Through your decades of public service and volunteer work, you have singularly embodied Waltham's community spirit. In honoring you, we also honor your late mother, a longtime Brandeis employee who served generations of students. In recognition of your tireless dedication to our shared hometown, Brandeis University is proud to present you with its highest honor, Doctor of Laws, honoris causa. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Larry Kanarek, accompanied by Professor Aldo Musacchio.
Larry Kanarek, your extraordinary career has been powered by inexhaustible energy sources, your intellect, your grit, and your heart. Your dedication to excellence defined your work at McKinsey & Company, your only employer from the year you graduated from Harvard Business School to the day you retired. Advising companies as a McKinsey consultant, you traveled to more than 40 countries, experiencing firsthand the difference that can divide us and the commonalities that can erase barriers. As a director at McKinsey, you combined your analytical acuity with your emotional intelligence, providing effective leadership in critical roles and nurturing the leadership skills of others. In recognition of your long, successful career, your loyal service to your alma mater, and your continuing focus on philanthropic consulting, Brandeis University is proud to bestow upon you its highest honor, Doctor of Business Administration, honoris causa. Congratulations. Thank you.
Cheryl Sandberg, accompanied by Professor Jill Greenlee.
Thank you. Cheryl Sandberg, a conversation starter, a change maker, a paradigm shifter. You embodied the conviction that equality and justice make the world a better place for all. Your bold leadership and groundbreaking business achievements have consistently earned you a place as a global trailblazer and recognition on the most prestigious list, from the Wall Street Journal's 50 Women to Watch to Time Magazine's 100 Most Influential People in the World. Through your philanthropy, you empower women to pursue their dreams, help girls become leaders, and open pathways to education for low-income youth. Through your writing, you illuminate paths to meaning in the face of adversity and turn tragedy into hope. And through your recent documentary film, which you have called the most important work of your life, you bear witness to trauma and give voice to victims of violence. Your unflagging commitment to challenging bias, promoting justice, and fostering resilience reflects our founding principles. In recognition of your unwavering commitment to Tecuma alum, Brandeis University proudly bestows upon you its highest honor, Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Cheryl Sandberg, Doctor of Humane Letters, will now deliver the commencement address.
President Levine, Provost Furkey, distinguished members of the Board of Trustees, esteemed members of the faculty, proud parents, squirming siblings, devoted friends, congratulations to all of you, and especially to the magnificent Brandeis graduating class of 2026. Congratulations. Today is a day of celebration, of the late nights, the problem sets, whatever it was in that coffee at Einstein's that got you through all of it. It's a day of gratitude for the parents, the professors, the friends who sat with you in Farber, sometimes helping you study, sometimes making sure you didn't. Brandeis is a special place. It has been since the day it was founded, and it's only become more so. You come from 29 countries. Nearly 1 in 6 of you is the first in your family to graduate from college. Graduation is always a proud moment, but when you're the family's first, it's something more. It's the realization of a dream that took generations to build. I want to start today with a parable, the rabbi's gift. It's not ancient. It was written in 1979. Okay, I guess that's ancient to some of you, but not to me. The author was a philosophy professor who became a Catholic priest and then went to live as a hermit in the woods. If anyone bet on Kalshi that my speak would mention a hermit, you just made a lot of money. So the parable begins. In the late 17th century, there was a monastery in a small town. For generations, it was the center of the community. But then the scientific revolution happened, ushering new ideas, and reason began to feel more relevant than facts. The pews emptied, the classrooms too. Finally, only 5 monks remained. The abbot, desperate, went for a walk in the woods, not to get his steps in, but to seek out a wise old rabbi who lived nearby. He asked what they should do, but the rabbi said he didn't know. The same thing was happening in his temple. The people had stopped coming. As the abbot turned to leave, the rabbi called after him, "I'm sorry, I don't have an answer for you, but I do have one thought. I believe the Messiah lives at your monastery." The abbot returned and told the others. Now, each of the monks knew this was highly improbable, but still, they couldn't help but wonder, could the abbot be the Messiah? Father Eldred? Andrew? Then at some point, they each allowed themselves the thought, could the Messiah actually be me? None of them believed it, but the possibility was enough. They began to treat each other differently with the kind of care you'd show someone who might be that important. And they began to carry themselves differently too. The townspeople noticed. They couldn't explain what was happening, but they could feel it. They started coming back. And before long, that monastery was thriving. The scientific revolution did not reverse itself. The telescopes did not break. But how those 5 monks chose to see each other and themselves turned out to be much more powerful. You are graduating today into another revolution. Technology is creating opportunities we couldn't have imagined and raising questions we don't know how to answer yet. I suspect every commencement speaker this spring is going to mention this, so I'm skipping the part where I'm describing it. You're living it. When the world changes fast, something happens. People reach for safety. We close ranks. We stop seeing the people around us and start seeing threats. It is a deeply human instinct, and it's almost always the wrong one. The monks faced that same challenge and the same instincts, but instead of closing down, they opened up to each other. They chose humanity over fear. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. 3 choices about how to respond in this moment. First, choose contribution over self-protection. When uncertainty hits, a common instinct is to turn inward and focus only on yourself. To walk into every room scanning for what might hurt you and what might help you. Here's what I've done. Here's why I'm impressive. I know this because I've sat across from thousands of people in job interviews and career conversations. And a lot of those conversations blur together, and I couldn't tell you most of the people's names. But I can tell you the name Lori Gohler. Years ago, not as ancient as 1979, Lori called me about a job. She said, I was going to tell you all the things I'm good at and all the things I'd like to do, but instead, I figured everyone's doing that, so instead I thought I'd ask you, what's your biggest problem and how can I solve it? I hired her on the spot. I wrote about this in my book, Lean In, and in the 13 years since, do you know how many people have done what Lori did? Maybe 5, maybe 10. I have literally told people exactly what to do, and yet they still don't do it. And while, of course, you have to talk about yourself in job interviews and career conversations, the alternative is so rare and so powerful. The person who asks, what do you need, instead of what do I want, is unforgettable. In school, your success is often measured individually. At work, it is measured collectively. The people who make everyone around them better are often the ones that rise to the top. They help their boss, they help their colleagues. They say, ask me to do anything, no job is too big or too small. And they actually mean it. This matters even more now. AI can generate the first draft, the memo, the analysis. What it can't do is walk into a room and know what the team actually needs. It can't be the mentor who saw something in someone before they saw it in themselves. It can't notice that the real problem isn't even on the agenda. AI is only as good as the prompt you give it. Genuine curiosity and the desire to help, the kind that comes from truly caring about other people, is a deeply human skill. And it is about to become the most valuable one you have because it is the one technology will never replace. Second, choose collectivism over tribalism. In 1889, my great-great-grandmother, Hanna Bassa, escaped from Lithuania. She and her young children crossed the Atlantic in steerage where space and food were limited, but rats and cockroaches were not. She described the trip in her journal, writing, "The seas were rough and our sleeping bunks were 4 high. When the boat rocked, the person on top would vomit on those below." 19 long days later, Hanna arrived at Ellis Island. She came in search of safety and opportunity, and she found them in this country. Had she remained in Eastern Europe, she almost certainly would have died in a Nazi concentration camp. I tell you this because anti-Semitism is surging. 2025 had the most deaths from anti-Semitic attacks in 30 years. Hatred is rising on campuses and beyond, and with it, a fear that Jewish people carry in our bones, the knowledge that this has happened before and it can happen again. This school was forged in that hatred. Brandeis exists because brilliant students were turned away from other institutions simply for being Jewish. The founders responded by creating a school that is open to everyone. That was an act of moral courage, inclusion born out of exclusion. And now that legacy is yours. So carry it, not as a memory, as a mandate to stand against anti-Semitism, racism, homophobia, sexism, anti-Muslim hate. Stand against all of it. While hatred attacks our shared humanity by saying some don't belong, a different force is attacking it by saying some should dominate. The manosphere is telling millions of young men that the reason they feel lonely, rejected, or stuck is feminism. And their answer is to go backward to a world where men lead and women follow. The pain is real. Loneliness among too many young men is a genuine crisis. But the manosphere's answer to that pain is a lie. It feeds them rage and calls it strength. It teaches them contempt and calls it confidence. And it does all of this while the actual evidence says the exact opposite. More equal partnerships lead to better mental health for men and women, stronger finances, happier households. Turns out equality isn't the problem, it's the fix. Yet 57% of Gen Z men now say that progress for women has gone too far. Think about that. More than half the young men in your generation believe the oldest lie in the book, that another group's progress is their loss. The manosphere, anti-Semitism, racism, and all forms of hate are different in many ways. But underneath, they run on the same fuel. They take fear, frustration, or pain and aim it at a target. They decide for you who is worthy of your respect and who is not. The choice I am asking you to make today, in the hard conversations and the easy ones, when it costs you nothing and when it costs you something, is to hold on to your shared humanity. Believing that all people are worthy of respect is a practice, and it will shape the world you build. Third, don't script your career. When the future is uncertain, every instinct tells us to grip tighter. We make plans. We make backup plans for our backup plans. I'm going to tell you something that took me 10 months of unemployment to learn. After school, I went to work at the Treasury Department. When the administration ended, I had a hard time finding a job. there were days, and I'm not being dramatic, when I thought I would never find one. When I finally got an offer, I worried that the company might not even survive. That company was Google. It did okay. And I never could have planned to work there when I graduated from college, because when I was sitting where you were sitting, there was no internet. I'm going to repeat that. There was no internet. Here's what I wish someone had told me during those many months of fear. The plan was never the life raft. I was. The rabbi didn't tell the abbot how to save his monastery. What the abbot needed was already there. I think that's true for all of you too. You don't need a 10-year plan. If I had one, I would have missed the internet. You need two things: a short-term direction, something to work towards right now, and a long-run dream, a sense of the life you want to build. Don't try to connect those 2 points. The path is going to surprise you, and the opportunity lies in those surprises. I've watched so many careers unfold, and the most interesting ones were never the most planned. They were the best navigated. I know many of you are rightly worried about what comes next. You've seen the headlines. This year's graduates face the toughest job market in decades. Let me read some other headlines. This year's college class faces a daunting task finding jobs in the worst economy since the Great Depression. That was 2003. Hopes for an easy job search have fizzled as graduates enter the weakest market in decades. 2009. Many graduates are unable to find permanent employment, growing increasingly perplexed about their future. 1971. Declaring this particular year the worst is a tradition almost as old as graduation itself. I'm not telling you the job market is easy, but every generation has figured it out. And one encouraging number, 98% of the Brandeis class of 2025 is employed in graduate school or doing meaningful work. I believe in the class of 2026. I believe in all of you. Let's make it 100%. So when every part of you says, lock it all down, stay curious, stay open, your job is not to predict where the road goes. Your job is to keep moving with your humanity intact. Let me end where I began. The parable concludes with the monastery thriving, not because the rabbi gave them an answer. All he gave them was a question. Could the Messiah be there? The Messiah never came. No one was rescued from the outside. The monks rescued themselves by making a different choice about the people right in front of them and how they saw themselves. Class of 2026, you already have everything you need. Not because the road is clear, it won't be. Not because the answers are obvious, they aren't. But because what you carry with you into every room, curiosity, humanity, belief in yourself, is becoming rarer in this world. And it has never been more valuable. Treat every person you meet with that reverence, and treat yourself that way too. Class of 2026, congratulations. Give yourselves a round of applause.
The chair of the Board of Trustees will now present the candidates for the Bachelors of Arts and Bachelors of Science to the President of the University.
No? Well, maybe I will. The chair of the Board of Trustees, yes, I got it. President Levine, I have the honor to inform you that in accordance with your recommendation and that of the faculty of the university, the Board of Trustees, by virtue of the right granted by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts has voted to authorize you to admit these scholars to several degrees in arts and sciences.
Will Vice President for Student Affairs, Andrea Dine, please come forward?
President Levine, I have the honor of presenting to you with the recommendation from the faculty and the Board of Trustees the degree of Bachelor of Arts to be awarded in memoriam to Charles Eng. His time with us as a member of the Brandeis community was a blessing, and may his memory be a blessing. Will Steve and his father please join me at the podium to receive the diploma?
Degree candidates will now be presented for the conferral of degrees en masse. Following the conferral, the student address will be delivered and graduates will be welcomed to the Alumni Association. Graduates will then be presented individually to be recognized and congratulated as they cross the stage. Will Vice Provost for Undergraduate Affairs, Dean of Undergraduate Studies, and Professor of English Jeffrey Scholson please come forward? And will the degree candidates please rise as they are able?
Okay, everyone smile. President Levine, I have the honor of presenting to you the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Science.
Thank you. Thank you.
I think you're supposed to say,
Oh,
here,
excuse me.
do you want your microphone?
Yeah, okay. By virtue of the, is that on? Yeah, no. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Brandeis University, I confer upon you the degrees of Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Sciences, with all the responsibilities pertaining thereto.
Graduates, please be seated. Kimaya Bagla, Brandeis class of 2026, will deliver the undergraduate student address.
Good morning, President Levine,
Good morning.
members of the Board of Trustees, distinguished faculty and staff, proud families, alumni, guests, and my fellow graduates. Class of 2026, congratulations, we made it! My name is Kimaya Bagla, and I'm honored to receive a Bachelor of Science in Neuroscience and a Bachelor of Arts in Psychology with a minor in journalism from Brandeis University here today. Some time ago, standing on a stage at Brandeis, in another room for another event, I pointed to 2 empty seats in the front row. I told the audience that these 2 empty seats were reserved for my parents, watching from 8,000 miles away, symbolic of their presence there that night. Today, as the class of 2026 celebrates this special day, those seats are filled. Those seats are filled not only by my parents, but by the families and friends of every one of us here today. Brandeis taught me that courage isn't given, it's claimed. No one tells us how much we can take on. No one forces us to pursue the multiple majors and minors while having different jobs and leadership roles. We all chose that. And in choosing to stretch ourselves, to test our limits, we discover we are capable of more than we've ever imagined. As an international student, and as the first South Asian undergraduate to stand at this podium in over a decade, I felt a pressure to prove I belonged, not through grades alone, but by being everywhere, doing everything. CA duty, 2 campus jobs, 2 internships, 5 classes, president of SASA. My Google Calendar looked like Tetris designed by someone who hated me. I said yes to everything, and I shouldn't have. But I thought that was what it meant to be worthy of being here. My friends sat me down more than once in my little apartment, worried I was doing too much. That if I kept going, I would snap. And all I could say was this: it mattered to me to try. Because if I did not stretch myself, I would never know what I was capable of. Then came that one class we all have, the kind of class that makes you wonder why it was such a good idea to major in neuroscience in the first place. It made me rethink everything. And I promise you, junior year is not a great time to rethink your major. And Bio 140 was one of the hardest classes I've ever taken. And that tells me I'm not the only one. I remember sitting in the library at 1 a.m., the quiet of Goldfarb 2, my notes blurring together as tears filled my eyes. The PA system crackled. The library closes in 30 minutes. I thought this was it. I'd finally hit my limit. I'd pushed myself as far as I could go. And in that moment, I did not feel exceptional or resilient. I felt tired, unsure, and very, very human. This was the answer to my question about how much I could take on. And the answer was not this much. Then Richard, our TA, started running review sessions that went on for 5, even 6 hours straight. Not because it was required, but because he refused to let any of us fail alone. I showed up to every single one. And somewhere along the way, between those midnight problem sets and lots of coffee, I stopped feeling like I was drowning. That's when I understood. You have to choose to push yourself. No one else can do that for you. But when you do, you don't have to face it alone. So the next year, I became the Bugs tutor for NBio 140. I sat with students working through the same material that had nearly broken me, helping them see mechanisms from different angles, and staying as long as they needed just like Richard did for me. Richard is amazing. Here at Brandeis, we owe so much of our success to amazing faculty members. We also need to acknowledge the way we mentor each other as students. In my freshman year, a senior, Vishni, the former president of the South Asian Student Association, pulled me into the organization before I even knew I belonged there. 4 years later, she flew back to watch me stand where she once stood as the 29th Mela co-president. I didn't fully understand what I was feeling until long after the show, but it was legacy. This is not something you build alone, but it is something that someone hands you. And when it's your turn, you hand it to the next person. So in this graduating class, all of us owe a debt of gratitude to someone else. The person who said to each one of us, "You can do it," before we believed it for ourselves. And that's what Brandeis teaches. Not just that we're capable of more than what we've imagined, but that this courage is sustained by the people who step in. The people who check on you, the ones who run review sessions, who bring you coffee at midnight, and who say, "We've got you." The kind of courage that Brandeis cultivates isn't loud or solitary, but it is the kind that lasts, the kind that is rooted in trust and in the belief that we're responsible not only for our own success, but for one another's successes as well. Class of 2026, we all tested our limits differently. Some of us pursued groundbreaking research while navigating being first-generation students. Others built new clubs while learning a new language. Some balanced multiple jobs while maintaining dean's list grades. And others showed up every single day, even when it felt impossible. But whether we were international students or legacy, STEM majors or humanities scholars, we all learned the same truth. Courage is both chosen and collective. My parents flew 8,000 miles to watch me stand on the stage. For 4 years, they watched from empty seats, on Zoom calls at impossible hours, through pixelated screens and across an ocean they couldn't cross. Today, this degree belongs to them as much as it belongs to me. To the man who built the bridge so his children could cross the ocean, and the woman who taught me that if you're strong enough, the ocean will part for you. In a few hours, these seats will be empty again. We'll scatter across the world, taking jobs in cities we've never lived in, pursuing dreams we're all still figuring out, and facing challenges that we cannot even imagine yet. And when we're there at 1 a.m., in some future library, literal or metaphorical, testing limits we didn't know we had, I hope we remember that although we have limits, it is our responsibility to reach our full potential. So class of 2026, congratulations. Remember to choose courage, trust your community, and when you see empty seats, fill them. Not symbolically, actually show up. Because someone did that for us, and now it's our turn. We made it, and we'll keep making it together. Thank you.
The president of the Brandeis University Alumni Association, Amy Cohen, class of 1985, will now provide remarks.
Well, that was a tough act to follow, so I will be brief. Good morning and congratulations to the class of 2026. It is an honor as president of the Brandeis Alumni Association to officially welcome you to the alumni community. As you heard, and for those of you I have not had the pleasure to meet, my name is Amy Cohen, and I am a member of the class of 1985. Today marks the end of your time as Brandeis students, but it is far from the end of your Brandeis journey. It's the beginning of a lifelong bond with more than 70,000 alumni around the world, a diverse network connected by shared experience, values, and purpose. From this day forward, you are and you will always be a Brandeis alum. Time and time again, alumni have told me that one of the most cherished gifts Brandeis gives us, aside from a first-rate education, is friendship. The people you've laughed with, studied with, leaned on during your time here. Many will become your chosen family. They will celebrate your successes and support you through life's challenges. These relationships are precious. Nurture them, hold them close. They are, in many ways, the heart of your Brandeis experience. And remember, your Brandeis community is always with you, whether you're beginning a new career, facing challenges, or chasing a dream. You are never alone. Your fellow alumni are ready to mentor, to support, and to cheer you on. You'll be surprised at how often you spot Brandeisians in cities near and far. You might recognize a familiar face, spot a Brandeis sweatshirt, or a hat across the room. Say hello, introduce yourself. That small gesture could spark a meaningful conversation, a new friendship, or an unexpected opportunity. So how do you stay involved with Brandeis after you graduate? That's easy. Stay connected. Sign up for alumni or identity groups. Join alumni social media groups. And most importantly, keep in touch. Let us know when you move, when you get a new job or a new email address. Go to Alumni Association events to reconnect and grow your professional and personal networks. Give back when you can. Recommend Brandeis to future students. Share your journey. Help a fellow alum when asked, and ask for help when you need it. That's what a strong alumni community is built on. And build on the Brandeis legacy we heard about, a legacy that includes the owner of the Philadelphia Eagles, Jeff Lurie, award-winning Broadway film and TV actress, Loretta Devine, pioneer breast cancer researcher, Sheila Efron-Taubi, and now you. You are forever a part of our legacy. Class of 2026, you've worked hard and accomplished something extraordinary. As you step into the next chapter, carry Brandeis with you, not just in your memories, but in your values, your relationships, and your aspirations. Welcome to the Brandeis alumni family. Congratulations.
The recipients of Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Science are invited to the stage in recognition of their degrees and will then return to their seats for the remainder of the ceremony. We ask that the audience also remain seated as they can until instructed otherwise. Following the presentation of graduates, the audience is invited to stand as they are able and join in singing the Brandeis alma mater and remain standing for the benediction. President Levine, accompanied by Vice Provost Schulzen and Provost Fierke, will receive the graduates as they are announced. The class of 2026.
Danish Anil Abbasi. Kaylee Mary Abbey. Yathrib Abdullah Ahmed Abdullah. Del Abney. Dia Acharji. Sivan Matilda Adams. Ann Adams. Promise Angel Adali. Aliyah Adenoun. Cheyenne Agasoltan. Matvey Agranovsky. Hector Aguirre Munoz. Simon Danso Agemam. Sophia Ahmad. Solai Alagapan. Caroline Hope Alcock. Lucas Henry Alexander. Doa Alte. Sarah Elizabeth Altman. Eli Amar. Mariah Esther Amponza. Alicia Anderson. Anthony Joaquim Andrade. Joshua Andrews. Darcy Julia Celeste Anselmi. Maria Eduarda Antonio Tawa. Myra Celeste Aranda. Isabella Maria Ashton Rickard. Keola Asing. Alana Atkinson. Francesca Auricchio. Dari A. Axelrod Fried. Guilherme Azeredo Santos. Ella Riley Azua. Elinoa Tsipora Bader. Kimaya Bagla. Joshua Bahar. Athena Yuga Bai. Zailing Bai. Chloe Maseni Denise Bakayoko. Ian Micah Joseph Baker. Kyra Baker. Esther Balaban. Eva Ballo. Vincent Baltazar. Aryan Greatness Bunsiwal. Alana Faith Lynn Baptiste. Tal Bar Zvi. Sophie Marie Barabas. William Max Barish. Victoria Barbieri. Hannah Elizabeth Barnett. Lisette Angelica Barraza. Sarah White Baskin. Jake Beanie. Ethan Samuel Bear. Allison Sarah Beckerman. Lindsay Elizabeth Beckerman. Eve Rebecca Begelman. Brooks David Bellinger. Sarah Laura Bello Caballero. Lev Ben-Avram. Jake Maxwell Bender. Shane Bender. Ollie Benedetti. Helena Benhamou Goldfine. Nico Beninda. Hannah Bennett. Olivia Hong Bennett. Eli Ben-Simone. Nicole Lorraine Benton. Galit Berezanski. Sean Berman. Kyra Bhagat. Kennedy Marie Bickham. Eliza Beer. Esther Bistrisser. Ryan Daniel Biswall. Willa Jane Bixby. Milk Bluebell. Miriam Binyamin. Malini Borgu. Cora Elaine Boothby Aquilo. Nina Sonia Borzakowski. Asher Philip Bowling. Val Jonas Boyington Howard. Natalie Annabelle Bracken. Casey Lynn Bramhall. Kieran M. Bray Jones. Katriana Elizabeth Briggs. Chloe Brumland. Gabriella Molly Brown. Sam Edward Lloyd Brown. Yasemin Alexis Brown Kodeman. Catherine Jenna Browning. Micah Ashton Bryant. Madison Rose Buchanan. Brianna Dean Fung Boy. Samuel Oren Richard Bundy. Noah Bunis. Elena Sue Bunker. Nina Buongiorno. Isabella Sophia Burdensky. Benjamin Maxwell Bush. Esther Leah Cabot. Sophia Grace Kacha. Matthew Cadogan. David Kahn. Wenli Tsai. Ariana Mark Tsamai. Rui Chi Cao. Vivi Win Cao. Thomas John Carlio Jr. Luke Christopher Carlson. Jacob Henry Carminati. Adam Castro. Genesis Maria Sedeno. Jacob Nikhil Sun Uk Cha. Lily Elizabeth Chafe. Varun Challa. Rami Shalom. Isabella Chan. Annabelle Chang. Linke Chang. Amanda Tate Chappelle. Sydney Melina Sharon. Ella Catherine Chase. Angela Chen. Jacob David Chen. Lexin Chen. Ningjie Chen. Shanyi Chen. Shile Ceci Chen. Wang Yuxiang Cheng. Eric David Cherney. Ellen Greenspan Chang. Rian Sheba. Kat Chin. Grace Mwiza Gondwi. Serena Siyu Chiu. Eugene Cho. Seji Choi. Samuel Min-wook Chun. Sierra Choi. Chris Chun. Zachary Spencer Carino Clark. Monica Nicole Claros Olivares. Ava Elizabeth Clay. Maeve Coakley. Allison Julia Coburn. Joan Conchetta Cagliano. Ayana Colas. Morgan Collins. Emily Confino Miller. Sophia Conte. Ella Marie Cookman. Tyler Joseph Correnti. Robert Anthony Corwin. Allegra Lotke Cronin. Jacqueline Jujiao Cross. Maya Crowell. Grace Abigail Crowley. Dalen Richard Croson. Kevin Tesway. Piper Lynn Culp. Ananya Sandeep Dalal. Gabrielle Maya Daly. Soraya Castro Dahlia. Faith Daly. Matisse Paul Daman. Fong Maidang. Tran Thuk Min Dang. Anthea Dobbin. Sophia Davidson. Jojo Day. Audrey Ann DeGarmo. Sophia Danielle DeLisi. Lorhaley de los Santos Baez. Christopher Deck. Grace Curlin Delaney. Liam Richard Delaney. Sophia Camille Denaro. Rebecca Chen Deng. Yuhei Deng. Tyler DeVere. Chelsea Roxana Diaz Perez. Massimo Samson DiGirolamo. James DiMartino. Rachel Ala Dinsis. Amel Durain. Stephen Daniel Dixon. Grace Doe. Joseph Nicholas Jordan Donaldson. Jacob Funderburg Donello. Chen Dong. Bill Dong. Chloe Elizabeth Doonan. Janine Hannah Dorfman. Nicholas Joseph Diortona. Rebecca Lindsay Dranikoff. Marley Drazen. Hannah Du. Boyuan Duan. Natalie Dubovskaya. Peter Duchesneau. Erica Troy Duckett. Abigail Dupont. Zachary Howard Duvel. Eva Shui Lai Zeus. Brianna Lee Earl. Seth Edelman. Zenaida Edwards. Lillian L. Ehrlich. Aimwan Andre Erhabor. Catherine Elizabeth Erickson. Anna Belleville Ertischek. Reed Allen Etzbach. Isaac Ryan Fairman. Ajibola Hakim Falade. Yiyu Fan. Christina Teresa Fares. Lauren Grace Farley. Husaifa Fatima. Sydney Tally Feld. Alan Yakov Feldman. Alexandra Joy Felton. Amy Fang. Spencer Feynman. Neely Hadas Fish Beeler. Abigail Brianna Francis. Hetzel Joel Frankie Nadal. Sophia Gabrielle Fredberg. Riley Lynn French. Joshua Friedson. Noelle Olivia Frangillo. Abigail Freustater. Alec Gallardo. Reed Gao. Tyen Gao. Diana Garcia Saucedo. Hannah Miriam Garvin. Stephen Ryan Gahan. Cooper James Gavin. Sarah Sorensen Gazai. Samuel Joseph Geyer. Jesse Isaac Gell. Jermaine Antonio Genius. Allison Claire Gentry. Julian Brick Gersh. Sheer Gershonov Talmor. Mahim Guy. Elena Giacoletti. Sadie Mae Giddings. Emma Zoe Gilbert. Maddie Glenn. Christian Paulo Godinho. Haley Gold. Zachary Lev Gold. Shai Goldberg Kelman. Alyssa Danielle Golden. Jared Aton Goldman. Jessica Brielle Sha Goldman. Max Lucian Goldmuntz. Jamir Gomez Santos. Zachary Andrew Gondelman. Vencheng Gong. Jose Noe Gonzalez Jr. Yamini Gopal. Eva Danielle Gordon. Lucas Michael Gordon. Sarayu Goriparty. Kramer Morris Gotthelf. Kobe Zale Gottlieb. Shreya Gowda. Alady Christine Gould Wagonar. Kabir Raghu Gowda. Briar Grady. Jack Duffy Granahan. Jordan Greenaway. Ethan Alexander Greenberg. Miriam Greenfield. Natalie Louisa Greenfield. Martavius Elijah Gregory. Nina Jade Greisman. Christopher Mateo Groom. Eliane Rodriguez Grossman. Shranyu Gu. Dion Guha. Lena Guo. Aryan Gupta. Divam Gupta. Ria Gupta. Alexis R. Gutierrez. Natasha Gutierrez Hernandez. Asia May Halbritter. Janasha Courtney Hamilton. Lola Reed Hamilton. Shiloh Mars Hammerlund. Asa Panayotis Hammer. Vivian Madeline Hamoy. Edward Hamway. Hao Xin Yu. Tuikeze Happiness. Julia Hardy. Marcel Harris. Rahib Hassan. Sayeda Zumra Hassan. Zach Thomas Hawkins. Sonia Adar Hay. Miles Clark Hazen. Jianfeng He. Xiaowu Coco He. Adam Elliott Heaney. Joseph Heaney. Kaylee Janice Hedrick. Vivek Gotham Hain. Joseph Henry Hendershett. Hannah Ephia Bo Penris. Samuel James Herman. Nora Faye Herndon Lazarwith. Hannah Margaret Herzig. Isaiah Sheree Hill. Jakob West Hilleman. Maeve Elizabeth Hitchcock. Bitsalel Hochberg. Kai David Hodor. Madison Lee Holmes A. Court. Simone Margot Hodder. Emily Hull. Mona Ali Hojazi. Daniel House. Katie Ann Howard. Alexander Ruslanov Hristov. Catherine Sue. Jiawen Hu. Kahan Hu. Mingi Olivia Hu. Yujia Ho. Joyce Huang. Eric Huang. Jasmine Sydney Huang. Joanne Liu Xing Huang. Mandy Huang. Peng Huang. Aaron Hisa Hunt. Miles Grupuzo Huppert. Lainey Taylor Heimowitz. Zachariah Ibrahim. Emmanuel Uri Efraimov. Alice Michelle Iskold. Lily Faye Iskold. Nathaniel Jared Jacobs. Anika Jane. Romer Jen. Julia Rachel Jacob. Molly Rose James. Samin Jayaswal. Julia Henges Jack. Helen Elise German. Shang Ning Ji. Brian Wang Jiang. Licky Jiang. Olivia Jiang. Sharon G. Gina Min Yu Jin. Junhe Jin. Tyler Aaron Johnson. Benjamin Neymark Jollock. Alexandra Sarah Jones. Caitlin Joelle Jones. Elizabeth Kramer Jones. Tyron Zion Jordan. Nina Rebecca Joel. Ananya Kadwe. Neha Kalakuntla. Nema Kalra. Ava Hisu Kam. Laurel Kane. Pratik Kanmadikar. Ragini Kannan. Siddhi Kante. Rebecca Sophie Kaplan. Shrishti Maya Kaushik. Sophie Eve K. Elise Keller. Abigail Dean Kennedy. Mariam Khan. Austin Kim. Chloe Chaman Kim. Hannah Kim. Naeem Kim. Arwen King. Brandon King. Bronte Estella King Levine. Samantha Kipperman. Isaac Aaron Klar. Aaron Robert Klein. Jasper Lewis Kleinschuster. Aiden Kligfeld. Elise Ada Kane. Noah Cobran Brody. Yunus Kocaman. Julia Michelle Cole. Natalie Kong. Rachel Sarah Koppelman. Carol Sarah Kornwursel Alfie. Anusha Koshe. Sophia Helena Kosiba. Emma Cote. Leah Pearl Kotkin. Galena Kreitzberg. Thomas Kreisberg. Sophia Rose Kriegsman. Maya Daisy Krishana. Clara Evelyn Kurzinski. Maya Ruth Kushner. Dylan Leo Labbe. Isaac Lambert. Alexandra Wesley Land. Alondra Montiel Hernandez Lanham. Juliana Lapham. Juliana Karen Lasky. Finley Lasky Nielsen. Suleiman Masoodul Latif. Maria Laudana Coraicho. Jillian J. Lavardiere. Artem Vith Lavrov. Talia Rachel Lazar. Duke An Le. Le Duc Ta. Viviana Aaron Leach. Benjamin J. Lee. Eric Hugh John Lee. Erica Lee. Jungju Lee. Kunlun Royang Lee. Celine Grace Lee. Yuna Lee. Catherine Rose Lefebvre. Jeremiah Zachary Lemelson. Sophia Morgan Lemieux. Chloe Isabella Leung. Madeline Leventhal. Esther Tova Levin. Mia Levine. Ashley Pearl Levy. Carolyn Brooke Levy. Noah Gabriel Levy. Adrielle Lewis. Jenna Alexandra Lewis. Jessica Lee. Jahao Lee. Junjie Lee. Singnuo Lee. Xinyi Lee. Yuxuan Lee. Chenrui Liang. Julia Liang. Jiehui Lo. Grace Jordan Leibowitz. Aaron Lin. Jessica Lin. Leo Pocheng Lin. Miley Jiali Emmy Lin. Siming Lin. Xiaolin. Yitong Lin. Edward Lin. Z Long Lin. Akil Langutla. Tobias Emiliano Lipson. Elizabeth Liu. Emma Daiwei Liu. Ken Liu. Jiayue Cindy Liu. Joshua Liu. Siki Liu. Teng Yuan Liu. Yixue Liu. Sophie Livingstone. Haley Brooke Lober. Slater David Lofredo. Thomas Shihua Lowe's. Nina Lakshin. Zara Sayana Lokuge. Sophia Lombardi. Maggie Liu. Christopher Timothy Luce. Yi Ping Lee. Liam Peter Lynch. Salah Shuib Malim. Vikrant Maan. Alejandra Abril Madrigal. Matthew Colin McGee. Vedant Mahesh. Gabriella Helene Majeski. Kyra Malhotra. Cynthia Mabel Mancia. Henry Mancini. Zara Ariadne Borowitz Mandel. Madeline Hannah Maines. Avery Mangum. Mariana Manolio Daki. Yilin Mao. Jared Micah Morantz. Rachel Brooke Marchand. Doron Sarah Margalit. Megan Caroline Margolis. Cindy Marin. Anna Martin. Nathaniel Sidney Martin. Angelo Jake Martinez. Emmanuel Mateus Teak. Malia Mather. Jacob Matlin Heiger. Jaylene McDougald. Griffin John Melder McFarland. Nora Finster McNutt. Stina May. Victoria May. Nikat Memon. Ella Rose Mendelson. Ria Menon. Nathan Heim Marin. Diane Björkness Meyer. Noah Thomas Misho. Tamuna Mikalashvili. Joseph Abraham Milham Harari. Alexis Elise Miller. Logan Miller. Amelia Minchin. Sayaka Minegishi. Julia Beatrice Minovich. Kimora Shoshone Mitchell. Jacob Muhammad. Garrett Francis Molinari. Giancarlo Morales Garcia. Aile Grace Morrison. Jacob Harrison Morse. Callie Susan Morvay. Matthew Motiwala. Neve Aaron Mullen. Hannah Irene Murphy. Vishnu Srinivasa Murthy. Adira Liba Hadassah Muscat. Hem Deepika Muthuswamy. Claire Elizabeth Myers. Maria Lada Mihailik. Divya Nandan. Stephen Allen Nassar. Haya Nazir. Shania Nana Abrefi Nelson. Sarah Grace Nesheim. Natalie Nitza Neuhaus. Grace Patterson Newton. Dio Yen Kwa Win. Zachary Nichols. Samuel Abraham Nimberg. Kaoru Nishimatsu. Aiko Mumbi Juguna. Matthew Jordan Norris. Shanice Shade Nugent. Aink Yun Nue. Mia Tang Nidam. Tehila Oami. Anna Obradovich. Liberty Ninev Villia O'Brien. Andrew Myung Suk O. Devin Youngbae O. Maliha Momtaz. Zoe Oken. Eva Okuniev. Indonesia, Zelina Omega. Gregory Opong. Isabella Rose Orkin Emanuel. Elizabeth Grace Osen. Rainer Anselm Osselman Chai. Hans O. Nana Korantama Owusu Koranteng. Maria Iphigenia Oxizolu. Aparna Packer. Gonzalo Palafox. Connor David Papantoni. Alexandra Paredes. Niyati Patel. Jay Pathak. Blaine Kirsten Russ Work Peterson. Tal Meir Pemstein. Chegi Hung. Kiana R. Perez. Enrique David Perez Miralles. Malia Ann Perry. An Tu Huang Pham. Han Pham. Hien An Phuong Le. Regina Pierre Louis. Daniel Pierru. Daphne Pisios. Ani Pogosyan. Mackay Kirkpatrick Pope. Margaret Shira Potagal. Zoe Laura Sekola Patolsky. Ryan Hart Powell. Lily Powellstock. Aiden Matthias Powers. Parker Lance Press. Jiao Chu. Caitlin Quartzen. Zaria Ariel Questeles. Tally Eliana Rabinovich. Vivian Jordan Rachkowski. Sophia Shah Rahman. Demir Rahman. Natalie Rose Ramirez. Chenshi Rao. Brianna Renee Rasco. Valerie Isabel Ratch. Spencer Quinn Realejo. Anna Reardon. Sharon Reddy. Brooke Viola Reed. Ellie Faye Reiner. Joy Wren. Amelia Megan Reynolds. Jason Benjamin Rich. Eli Gow Richardson. Adam George Reedon. Garrett Robert Reedon. Ali Abbas Rizvi. Risha Syed Rizvi. Elias Martin Roddle. Greg Roit Board. Benjamin L. Romano. Maya Hannah Ron. Kimberly Rosas Avila. Alexandra Rose. Sarah Grace Rosenblum. Aaron Jordan Rosendorf. Ethan Lewis Rosenfeld. Rifki Rosensaft. Lance Rudman Rothschild. Sherelle Rena Ruimi. Trisha Roy. Catherine Reutman. Lily Grace Rubenstein. Esther Delaney Lasserson Rubin. Ava Rudensi. Jason Yoel Saez. Natisha Abigail Sakun Chopanin. Aiden Ezra Salim. Naomi Salomon. Gemma Reisman Sampus. Sarah Lily Samuel. Eva Rose Sanborn. Victoria Sanchez. Sarah Morgan Sandor. Iris Sano.
Madison Cambuel Sansone.
Karina Sargent. Dante Julius Sasso. Nathan Lee Satterfield. Brittany Syed. Rowan Archer Scasalati. Sophie Bell Sheriff. Phoebe Rose Schaller Moe. Ava Scholl. Leo Gustafson Schiappa. Anna Claire Schneider. Ziggy Schulters. Ned Scott. Vivian Jane Scott. Isabella Snow Seaman. Emma Michaela Selman. Yoon Jin Suh. Lev Seawald. Sarah Shahini. Raza Shahzad. Virohin Dea Shakeli. Mia Ann Shalansky. Seal Avery Shandell. Caleb Sharif. Casey Shea Dinkin. Sophie Ross Shecklin. Brian Shen. Brian Shen. Matthew John Chirac. Shivani Shurchin. Cameron Alexander Sherman. Zheng Ning Shi. Jiarong Shi. Michelle Shi. Ryan Shi. Phoebe Sunyoung Shin. Rohan Gupta Shivaram. Samuel Labe Schmidman. Thomas Jacob Shosted. Lucia Rachel Spuntoff. Paresh Shrestha. Kenneth Matthew Atalano Sikat. Anna Elizabeth Sidovar. Marlena Silva. Suzanne Michaela Silver. River Ethan Simard. Zaire Anthony Simmons. Cole Simmons. Samuel Simon. Shekinah Simon. Jivika Singh. Anne Mary Scaria. Solomon Eli Skelton Harris. Samantha Slater. Kamala Victoria Smith. Deanna Sola Chacon. Yumna Solomon. Kiyu Song. Peter Aaron Sorota. Joseph Sosa. Vincenzo MacArthur Souza Terracciano. Liam Isaac Spilker. Srinidhi Sriraman. Evelyn Iris Stanley. Maya Stanchev. Ren Stefanacci. Or Nistar Steinerman. Naomi Mayura Stevenson. Sophia Jennifer Stewart. Anya Lillian Stoltzman. Gianni Robert Storti. Catherine Naomi Stoyanov. Rebecca Eve Suarez. Charles Sullivan. Lewin Sun. Michael Haubo's son. Ming Yue Sun. Ying Hao Sun. Keshav Sundar. Lauren Elizabeth Swartz. Daniel Talisman. Casey Adelina Tan. Ruijian Tan. Jacob Aaron Tinkleman. Eric Tong. Ava Gail Toll. Laura Namfoom Tran. Trun T. Quinn Tram. Gabriella Margalite Trout. Mariana Zafero Solias. Michael Kentaro Tsuruda. Joshua James Yule. Apurva Upal. Jaden Ramona Van Bork. David Kofi Vapnik. Catherine Elizabeth Vaughn. Joseph Solomon Viola. John Joseph Finek. Haley Jiang Vu. Gabriela Vukomanovich. Sachi Wadwa. Elaine Walker. Sarah Charlotte Walkup. Stan Wan. Ava Wong. Gretchen Wong. Nancy Wang. Tommy Wang. William Shinwei Wang. Si Tong Wong. Shu Feng Wang. Ziwei Wang. Cameron Wong. Fitzgerald Gicheru Wangaru. Ella Lee Workentine. Madeline Liu Watson. Chitai Wei. Wesley Wei. Xinqing Wei. Max Jacob Weiner. Anna Elizabeth Weiss. Rachel Elizabeth Weiss. Shira Miriam Bernstein Wennick. Emma Weston. Alicia Rose Wexler. Cassandra Anjali White. Gavrila Shava Michelle Wickexono. Jenna Christine Wild. Kevin Williams Jr. Kira Lynn Williams. Maya Ann Williams. Marley Dean Wilson. Adrian Escher Worth. Emily Jean Wolgamuth. Chun Feng Wong. Denzel Wong. Maxwell Wen Lee Wong. Sade Cheyenne Woods. Gregory Maxfield Wu. Han Wu. Karina Wu. Yangjia Wu. Yanyi Wu. Yingtian Xia. Eric Xiao. Catherine Eleni Zykes. Yishuan Xu. John Xu. Luwei Xu. Yuki Xu. Ru Tang Xu. Shenchong Xu. Selena Xu. Mingwei Xue. Dan Yan. Daphne Yan. Xiaolong Yan. Tao Yan. James Yan. Chris Yang. Claire Shintong Yang. Deanna Yang. Grace Yang. Grace Dancing Yang. Hetty Yang. Hongchen Yang. Jason Yang. Michael Nade Yerikin. Nikita Yevdokimov. Jeffrey Yi. Ziwei Yi. Yua Yin. Linz Yu. Weiran Rachel Yu. Zihan Yu. Yehong Yuan. Matthew Yue. Angelina Yulfo. Jonathan Hughes. Andres David Zalowitz. Michelangelo Zampieri. Shima Zare. Daniel Zaror. David Anael Zavala Castro. Daniel Alexander Zidane. Fanhei Zheng. Jihui Zheng. Stephanie Scarlett Zepeda Racinos. Amanda Zhang. Christina Yuqing Zhang. Xuxin Zhang. Ella Tianyi Zhang. Fadi Zhang. Haoran Lucy Zhang. Jiari Zhang. Nancy Zhang. Stephanie Zhang. Keeping Zhang. Ranqin Zhang. Shanyun Zhang. Yingjia Zhang. Yiquan Zhang. Lena Zhang. Zimo Zhang. Dylan Zhao. Fiona Zhao. Jiayi Carrie Zhao. Ruibo Zhao. Jack Zhao. Hao Zheng. Jia Min Zheng. Yi Chong Jong, Andrew Zhou, Xinyi Zhou, Xinyun Zhou, Tianyao Zhu, Michelle Lynn Zuckerberg, Brendan Zuzak, Hui Jin Ye, Alexander Shi, Abigail Faith Tang, Yuan Andy Tao, Marc Dugre Telfor, Audrey Teo, Adam Stanford Turketon, Michael Coleman Terenzi, Ella Shoshana Tong, Ella Kieran Thanik, Sureen Thapa, Shaunalee Then, Japheth Buchanan Theobald, Lucia Lee Thomas, Maya Thomas, Avantika Alva Thiagarajan, Ashad Faisal Traore, Ray Gorui Xie, Wenchong Shu, Toby Zhang,
Will the audience please rise as they are able and stay standing through the benediction? Please join Brandeis vocal instructor Kristen Watson in singing the Brandeis Alma Mater, the words to which are available online.
To thee, Alma Mater, will always be true. All hail to thy standard, the white and the blue, proclaiming thy future, recalling thy past. Our hopes spring from memories eternally cast. With sorrow we'll leave thee, new worlds to create. May deeds of thy children make thee forever great. May deeds of thy children make thee forever great.
Following the benediction, the graduates and their guests are requested not to enter the aisles until after the academic procession has left the auditorium. Brandeis University Director of the Center for Spiritual Life, Lara Erickson, will pronounce the benediction.
Good afternoon. As we conclude today's ceremony, I want to share a few, and I mean a very few, we are very almost done, hopes that I have, particularly for the graduating students, but for all of us. As you prepare to go out into a world that feels uncertain and full of challenges, it may be tempting to harden your beliefs, your emotions, and your relationships in pursuit of safety and certainty, but I urge you don't. Your questions, your openness, and your compassion are all at the very core of what it means to be human. May you affirm every person's humanity and act accordingly. May you know when to speak up and when to listen. May you have the courage to stand up for what you believe in and the courage to change your mind or admit when you were wrong. May you remember both that you are a small part of an enormous universe and also that you can make a big impact. May you know that no matter how important your work is, you are deserving of rest and joy. Though you may no longer walk the hills of campus together, may you continue to nurture the relationships that were forged at Brandeis, turning to one another in times of struggle and joy. May you say the words, "Thank you," "I'm sorry," and "I love you" often, and be willing to say, "I don't know." May you always be open to new beginnings, and may you navigate endings with as much gentleness as possible towards yourself and others, honoring the person you have become. Graduating students, may you go forth today to love and serve the world. Congratulations.
Please be seated. Please remain in your seats until the academic procession has exited the arena floor and staff have indicated that you may exit. The undergraduate ceremony for the 2026 commencement exercises has now concluded.
I think you should.